Well, Gaurav, thank you so much for helping my project. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Gaurav. I am a project manager. I work for Cornerstone Building Brands. I report to the PMO office. I've been a project manager there for about 7+ years. Main focus is on software development, SaaS solutions, and a little bit of my personal life. I've been in Houston since 2013. I live in the Sugarland area, and I have two boys who love space and who love planets, and are very curious about the stars. So,
Wow, I didn't realize you moved to Houston in 2013. Did you come because of the HP project?
no, I came to Houston because I got married in 2013, and my wife, we decided, my wife lived in Houston, I lived in Tampa, Florida. We decided I'll move over to Houston. So I came to Houston jobless, and and then I was hired by HP or by Modus, who contracted me to HP. I got that job in like 11 days of arriving in Houston, and that's how I started in Houston. It was HP was my first contract position. So yeah.
Well, that's brilliant. And how old did you say your boys were?
One is 2 years old or close to two. The other one is 4+ or close to 5.
Okay, I'm right on the other end of that 18 years of experience. So that you have great fun ahead of you. You won't
Yep.
appreciate it until you get to my point, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So the older one is very curious. Of course, he has the planets and everything in his room. The younger one is just getting into it. He's looking at it in the room and he's starting to notice things. So yeah.
Well, so you're a project manager. Were you always interested in like organizing and scheduling and communicating, or were there like some other career directions that you considered going?
I started as a business analyst. So, I was always interested in IT and software development, databases, et cetera, right? My field of study was around that and managing information systems, et cetera. I did not even consider project management as a career path. I thought, okay, business analyst is what I wanted to be as a career path. So I started out as a business analyst, and I guess through like natural progression at work, I kind of went to that project management in the project management space. I got my PMI, et cetera. And then I was interested in that space. Although I'm still interested in the business analyst space, I kind of enjoy both and software development and new things, new technology, improving processes. So that's what drove me to like, I guess the business analysis and then really to project management. And most of my projects that I actually do here at CVB, they're all based on improving processes and improving efficiencies at the workplace, right? So yeah. So that's what really drives me, and the project with project management, yes, organizing things and keep things moving along. That's one part of it. The other part of it is the change, looking at the change and the efficiencies and the positive contribution you bring to a team. That's what also interests me really, for what I do really. So
So what provides the most satisfaction in your job?
most satisfaction, when we get to the end line, right? We go live with something, and the team is actually using the product, and I'm actually seeing the benefits of it. So that may not come down the line like a year or 2 years later. That may come down the line when you're actually assessing what the benefits are. But that's what I enjoy the most. Getting there and everything it's fun. It could be frustrating, or it could be fun, right? Or it could be a mix of both. But it's satisfying when you get there, but even more satisfying when you see that the product that you've helped in getting, building something or getting something in go live mode for a department or for a business unit or a set of business units, that it's actually being utilized and you actually see the benefit of it. And I think a lot of people want to see that. And there's a little less focus on that versus, just getting to the end line. But, I think there should be more focus on that. So I kind of like, try to always talk to my sponsors and say, show me the benefits of where we are, how are we doing, et cetera. So that's the most satisfying part to me.
Wow. Do you get a chance to follow up with these projects a couple of years afterwards to see how they are?
Yeah, you gotta be there for a while, right? So you can actually follow up on it, right? So when I first came to Cornerstone, which was NCI building systems before, when I first started, I was given a few projects like the CRM program, which I we built through at least the starting part, the sales part of it. I was the project manager, program manager on it, and we actually finished up for all of our business units on our side, on the NCI side. So it was good to actually see that be in place and people using it. And then after we merged, and we're now called Cornerstone Building Brands, we merged with another company. Seeing that getting expanded and being used more and more and more, and of course, like the executives and all the salespeople and other teams actually welcoming that's like satisfying. So that's like one example there, right? And then seeing the benefits too, like people using the systems and looking at your leads coming into CRM, and actually you're turning those leads into sales and orders, and so that's you got to just be there for a while, right, to just look at those things and notice those things and actually experience the benefits of it. So yeah, so I've been lucky enough to actually experience for some of them actually seeing like the product being used. So
Yeah, it's neat that people are getting to see value out of your tool. Though I mean it really takes a lot to wait 2 years to see that, I imagine. I like to it's always those quick wins that provide the most satisfaction to me. But I know unfortunately quick wins are usually small wins too. So
yeah.
it takes time to do something substantial.
Yeah, quick wins are good too. Those wins that are 90 days, from start to end. I've been on some of those. Use those quick wins. Let's get this thing delivered. Let's get this functionality delivered. Yeah, so that's actually satisfying too, to see something getting delivered and the team using it. So yeah.
Have you heard of Elon Musk thoughts on project management?
I have not.
It's really kind of short, but he says, if it's long, it's wrong.
Yeah. Can we get the project manager on that self-driving car that he's working on for the last I don't know how many years and promised us that?
I know, I know.
No, I'm sure. If it's yeah, I mean, it all depends, right? On what you're working on, right? You could be working on programs, but delivering on the way, like, several key parts of the, different projects in the program and experiencing the benefits of that along the way. So it all depends. So he has a point. Sometimes, too long is not good, right? So, I mean, but, I've seen it both ways where, been on a program and we've delivered with 18 business units, we've delivered something, and seeing the benefits of that, and also the quick ones, right? Implementing some software that is 30 to 90 days, or something, or some small functionality within an existing software that's about 30 to 90 days, initiation to go live, and seeing the benefits of that too. So
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, I think I think predictability is really prized in the project management world. It's going to be done then, and to be able to land either before that or right on that. But I've also think that I know there's a tendency in organizations to take up all the time that's allocated to these various tasks. I mean, almost never do you see things come in substantially under what was planned for them.
no, And especially since last year, it's been a challenge, not only with COVID, but with items like outside of your project, your external factors, cybersecurity threats, the storms, the winter storms, or the other storms that we've noticed here in Houston, other parts too, we've noticed a few things. So those are the external factors that I'm noticing, which, you've predicted something and it's out of your control. Like, resources have to be pointed out to, cannot work or have to be pointed to somewhere else, to focus on somewhere else. Right. So I'm not sure if you're noticing that, when you're working on projects for Anaplan, but like, I've noticed that where, if you've planned something and you said, okay, well, we're going to deliver here, or at this, or on this time, it's very hard to get to that time, or to get to that week or get to that month because of all these external factors, right, that are affecting your project. Nothing you can really do about it except, just keep pushing through and replanning and working with your sponsors to replan and go live. So
Yeah, it's almost like you always have to have a buffer in
yes,
time, a buffer in budget, a buffer in people, a buffer in requirements. Being able to quickly say, these are like my 20 requirements. These 5 are essential. These 10 I really want to have, and these 5 are nice to have, and be able to just like chop them off. When you get to that point, depending upon what your
what you're
priorities are.
planning. Yes, yeah.
So, um, well, I'd like to get into a moon-related project management issue, but before we get there, did you know that NASA is planning to send people to the moon in 2024?
So I know that, and the only way I know that is through you. So because I have you on my Facebook, so I've seen your posts and everything. So that's how I knew. I was like, I did not actually know that before. Um, just out of curiosity, when was it decided to go back to the moon in 2024? When did NASA decide that?
Yeah, so it was basically, I think in February of 2019, there was a meeting of the National Space Council. The vice president announced that he set a goal of, at that time, NASA was planning to send people back to the moon in 2028. So, for various reasons, they tried to move that date up to 2024. And, this is, a lot of people think the 2024 date's unachievable. And there's a lot of things that aren't falling into place as quickly or smoothly as they should have. That's increasing the thought that it may be unachievable. But after they announced that date, a lot of programs that appear to have been like really, stuck are moving forward at really small speed, picked up, and it seemed to have really motivated a lot of energy and gotten things going.
Good. Okay.
But what do you think about it?
I think it's a good thing. I think it should have been done before. We should have, we shouldn't have stopped when we did, right? I think we should have continued, or we should have, had this goal before, 2024. I mean, really, I hope we don't stop there. I hope we keep exploring. I hope we have our eyes set on Mars and other planets, other destinations. So, I think it's a great thing. And we, I don't know much about the subject, but I know that from what we did in the 60s, 70s, what we're doing, even like, for limited we're doing right now, that research helps us, right? With technology, with other things, on our everyday lives. So I think, investing and going to the moon and exploring there and doing your research and it's actually a good thing. It's a positive thing, right, for humanity itself. So, definitely. We should. I think it's great. I wish we did it sooner, right? Wish we set this goal as to get to the moon again in 1990, not 2024, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, there's more people alive now. Oh, how about let's put this a different way. The proportion of people that were alive at that time is a fraction of our current population. I think at the even like just the raw numbers, I believe at the time that we landed on the moon in 1969 for the first time, there's about 3 billion people in the world. Now there's about 6, 7 billion people.
Right.
And then a lot of the 3 billion people that were alive then, a lot of them have already passed on. So, uh, you know, there may be only a few, uh, you know, tens of millions of people that were alive during that time.
Yeah.
I guess anybody that's over, oh, it's really easy to figure out, isn't it? Anybody who's over 49 years old was alive during that time. So we just had to see how much of our population that is.
Yeah. So have you seen the show? I think it's on I think it's on Disney or Apple TV, For All Mankind.
Ah, yes.
And and they have this whole thing. I mean, I love that show, so I watched that show. And they had this whole thing like, what if we never stopped exploring the moon? And what if we kept going? So I imagine like, that's what we would have been if we never stopped, right?
How,
Um,
how far in it have you gotten?
oh, I watched both seasons.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm completed with both seasons.
I got all the way up to right before they're about to deploy the Marines to the moon. So I have a little bit of catching up to do.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it gets really good after that too. So just saying, I'm not going to give you any spoilers.
But I mean, the job they did, I mean, it looks like real footage from that age. If you did not know what the real history was, you could walk away from that video with really interesting ideas about what happened.
Right. Yeah. So I always, that's why I say I wish we did it earlier. It's and that's what it could have been. Maybe that's where we would have been, in the 90s or in the 80s, 90s, and who knows where we would have been right now if we just never stopped. So yeah.
Absolutely. And well, I mean, talking about where could we be? Um, in 500 years, where do you think humanity is at that point, just based upon your gut feeling and what you know
Mhm.
about humans?
Well, we are very good at adopting, I think. So in 500 years, with climate change and everything going on right now, and if it continues, I think that we will have to adopt and in Earth, hopefully, it'll be very very different. We'll be living in different areas. The areas that we're seeing right now, there will be no population. We will live in different areas. And I think that, hopefully we will be in other, we'll be settled in other planets, maybe the moon, maybe the Mars, maybe some other planet that we find that, that's more suitable to humans. So that's where I see us going. I know it's probably a very similar answer you get to, when you ask others the same question, but I think that's where we're headed really. Hopefully we don't, we don't stop exploring because we have to continue exploring to get there, but hopefully we don't stop. And then, I'm hoping that, we still have, what we have here on Earth, and we invest more in Earth, on the planet Earth, right? Recycling, more social responsibility when it comes to, to climate change, etc. So I hope we're still here, but I hope we're also, expanded to other areas, in the universe. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult to really picture 500 years from now. I mean, especially considering, I mean, just in our lifetimes, I mean, we went from having no cell phones to everybody having a cell phone. I mean, do you remember like in like the 1990s, you didn't call people. Like the idea of calling people is crazy. You called places and you hoped the people were
Right,
at the place.
right.
I mean, trying to explain that to my children is like beyond possible. It's just like, how does that make sense? What, they left their cell phone there? It's like a shared cell phone that everybody in the house used. Like I explain it.
Yeah, yeah. So we have come a long way, right? I mean, since, I guess the 90s, right? I mean, with technology and everything, how we progressed, you're right. So
And I mean, used to have, I mean, like Sugarland to Spring, where I am. I mean, that would have been a long distance call. We would have been, and it would have been audio only.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it's kind of huge. Um, yeah, I mean, at some point we're going to feel like we're in the same virtual environment interacting with each other.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think we're going to get there pretty soon too, right? I mean, with everything going on, I think yeah, we will have to, and really with I think with everyone investing more in it, since a lot of us are work from home, and it looks like it's going to be permanent, or at least some part of it being permanent, right? I think we're gonna, start exploring in that space too more. I mean, I know that, company and people are starting to do that, but we're probably gonna exploring in that space even more to make that a reality for everyone, right? So yeah.
So if it was safe and affordable, would you go to space?
Would I go to space if it's safe and affordable? Yes. If I
And
can, I mean, given that I can come back, right? Yes, absolutely.
and how far would you go? Would you just go suborbital like Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, where launch to landing is, just a few minutes? Or would you go in orbit for a week and experience free fall and what it's like to be weightless? Or would you spend a week going to the moon and back? Like how far would you go?
I would spend a week to the moon. And I mean, that's what I want to do if I go to space, like, explore all that space, the space, but then also be on the moon and experience that, so I hope we get there in my lifetime.
And
Um,
you think we might, or what are your thoughts?
we will see. I'm 50-50 on it. It's great that, Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson and there's, I don't know if there's a few more, trying to do trying to make it commercial. But we will see if it's affordable and safe. I mean, it's very challenging, I think, to get it to that, right? Being affordable and safe. But we'll see. I'm 50-50 on it that we can do it. I mean, for sure, I think, certain population who can afford the pricey tickets or the pricey seats and everything will be able to explore at least space. I mean, I think we're seeing that now, right? With Jeff Bezos going and him selling tickets on the shuttle and everything. Um, but for someone like me to go on the moon, I hope so in the next 25, 30 years, we can have possibly have that. What do you think? You think we're gonna be able to do that in our lifetimes or maybe our kids' lifetimes?
Oh, I think in our lifetimes for sure. I mean, if you see what Elon Musk has going on in Boca Chica, Texas, down there near Brownsville, and
Mm,
this completely reusable spacecraft. I mean, that's the problem with spacecraft is that we've built them for single use. So it doesn't
yeah.
matter how cheap it is, you can't spread out that capital cost over multiple flights. Um, so, I mean, he's building a spacecraft that can be used for point-to-point Earth travel. So, like Houston to Tokyo in 30 minutes. Like, I mean, at night we could go over to Tokyo, spend the day there, and come back even before everybody wakes up. Of course, it may take you a few weeks to recover from the flight, but that's a different story.
So what is that? What stage is that in? Is it in early concept and in an initiation type of deal or?
It is in building test article after test article and testing it. They've done like 15-kilometer flights with the system. They're working on building the first orbital one that they're trying to get FAA approval to launch, that they hope within a matter of months. And I mean, it looks like something that may be in operation just a matter of years, actually.
Well, that sounds good. I did not actually know that. So thank you for letting me know that. And I hope that it's successful and other companies are successful in doing similar things.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to make the 7-hour drive to Brownsville, the facility that SpaceX has going on down there is amazing. I'll send you some links to some of the things. It's going to shock a lot of people when they actually, start doing operational stuff.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty much all the questions I had. Did you have any questions or anything you want to talk about that we didn't get to?
No, this has been very interesting and very actually been kind of fun talking to you about this, Dayton. So, no questions. You were doing one interview a day, huh?
One interview a day, and this is like my 603rd or fourth one. And I
Wow.
have like 1,200 and some odd more to do. So I'm about 1/3 through my project. And I like to tell people that I'm doing the interviews until the end of 2024, not until we land on the moon. Who knows when that is? But there's a definite end date.
See, I was going to ask that one because I said, what if we postpone to 2026?
No, I don't
No.
know. I don't know. We'll see how I feel in 2024. But uh, 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 eh, the 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 cost of doing an interview a day in terms of a wear and tear on myself and my family, it has been a little bit more than I first anticipated.
And are you doing like repeats, like or it has to be someone new every time?
Somebody new every time. So
Wow,
yeah,
that is impressive.
yeah, it's been one of those projects that has actually continued consistently. And oh, my hometown newspaper. I well, you can't see anything. So
Actually, yes, I saw it on Facebook today.
yeah, yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, so that's good. Yep. So if you know anybody else that's willing to have a little conversation, I hope you really can send them my way. That would be great. I need 1,200 more people.
Definitely, I will let my friends know, and I'm sure someone will sign up for it, or I can let them know, hey, go ahead and sign up for this. So definitely, I will let others know. And hey, this is very amazing what you're doing. I think it's a lot of commitment, of course. Like I know for sure, doing this 30 minutes every day, and then getting the individuals to agree to the interview or agree to the conversation. That this is a lot of commitment from you, and it's very impressive. I mean, it's something I can't imagine myself doing. So hands down to you, man, and keep it up. And I hope you get your entire interview schedule filled in, and you can accomplish what you set out to accomplish.
Well, and I really appreciate your help both today and the encouragement, and then also the referrals.
All right.
Okay. Well, you have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, Nathan. See
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.